Mr. Chairman, it's my great pleasure to introduce Professor Michael Greenberger. Professor Greenberger is the founder and director of the Center for Health and Homeland Security at the University of Maryland and a professor at the School of Law. After leaving private practice, he serves as the director of the Division of Trading and Markets at the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. Most recently, Professor Greenberger served as the technical advisor to the United Nations Commission of Experts on reforms of the international monetary and financial system and the International Energy Forum's independent expert group on reducing worldwide energy price volatility. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Graves. Thank you, Ranking Member Velazquez. It's an honor to be here, and I congratulate you on holding this important meeting. I practiced law for 25 years before I went into the government and academia, and I was very actively involved in supporting small business efforts and considered it to be a principal part of my both professional life and interests. And I agree that small businesses have been very badly hurt by gasoline prices, but it's unfortunate that it is not just small businesses, it's the economy as a whole, Chairman Graves, as you alluded to, in terms of unemployment that we see across the board. Chairman Graves, it's a real pleasure for me to see you today because you may relieve me of this view, but I have viewed you as a champion in the kinds of things that I have been concerned about. I remember when natural gas was at a world record high of $15 per million BTU, you stepped to the floor of the House of Representatives and added a provision with Congressman Barrow on the Democratic side to assist the CFTC in controlling excessive speculation in the natural gas markets. The Republican Congress gave the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, and I know Congressman Barton, then chair of the Energy Committee, had a large role in this. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission was given strong anti-manipulation authority in the natural gas markets. They have used it vigorously. They have used it up until about a month ago, and natural gas is now at a world record low. There are, in my presentation, I want to make it clear, I do not discount supply-demand as being an important factor. And I agree that we have to search for ways to increase supply and reduce demand. And clearly there are different market fundamentals in natural gas. But with natural gas going down, when it was at $15 per million BTU, down to $170 4 or 5 weeks ago, is really quite remarkable. You may attribute that partly to supply-demand. I attribute it to your efforts to get the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission to be a cop on the beat, beating back speculators in these markets. Now, the price of gas was, the price of oil, which has been explained as a key determinant of the price of gas, was at $65 July 2007, $147 July 2008, $30 December 2008, $75 July 2007, when, according to my testimony, the CFTC was unable to cobble together enough votes to employ the anti-speculation efforts of Dodd-Frank. January 2011, the price goes from 85 to 110. President Obama convenes an anti-manipulation interagency task force, and it drops from 110 to 75. The task force is not found to be doing its work, and it goes back up to 110. And recently, with the uncovering of the Chesapeake situation, where the CEO of Chesapeake was not only producing oil and gas, but having a hedge fund betting on the price of oil and gas, that is a ripe situation where the hedge fund can be manipulating prices with its parallel institution, the company, and involve itself in wash trades, which are felonious conduct. Now, I'm not saying that happened, but it certainly is an avenue of investigation. My principal point is I'm not offering you a silver bullet to bring gas prices way down, but I think there is a silver bullet and a risk-free process to attempt to bring the price down, what has been conservatively estimated by Goldman Sachs with analytics by Forbes magazine, about 50-some cents. I personally believe it would go down a lot more. The key problem here is there are betting vehicles in this market. There's a $500 billion being passively bet by hedge funds, mutual funds, private equity, pension funds on the upward direction of commodities. The purveyors of those funds, principally Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, then turn around and go into the futures market and offset their betting exposure. They only want to make money on the transaction fees. They don't want to take bets on the price direction. So they hold, in the futures markets, 10 times, roughly 10 times the supply of oil in the world. Now, how do they do that? They have contracts that promise to supply and deliver. They let them expire. They convert them. That's called the Goldman roll, and just continue this process down the road. So it's this gambling that they're offering, casino, with a preemption in the statute against state gaming laws that puts $500 billion in, not to production, not to owning the underlying commodity, but to bet on the upward direction of the price. The casino goes into the real market and buys exorbitant amounts of long futures contract that send a false demand signal into the market. My view is the casino, the gambling, should be stopped. If I'm wrong about this, all we will have lost are casinos. If I'm wrong about this, the $500 billion will be put into production, ownership of commodity. I'm not against speculation. I think speculation is fine. I'm against gambling. And we got $500 billion gambling going on. And that has real impact in these markets. It should be stopped. There's legislation that's been prepared in the House and will be prepared in the Senate to stop the gambling. As I point out in my testimony, there has been on this issue substantial bipartisan concern about speculation. I point to several votes taken in the House that are bipartisan nature. One is 402 to 19, one's 288 to 133. I think that we can, in a bipartisan way, approach a solution which will not completely solve the problem, but which will afford important relief to the American consumer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Greenberger.